Low life.
Don't repeat.
See you, Cat.
See you later.
Who was that?
I don't know.
では、前に出ます。
Hello. How's it going, guys? I just got the live tweet out. Do me the favor, go give that some love. Oh. Sorry, I keep hitting my headset mic on the stream mic stand. And then let me grab for you guys today's sauce. Actually, kind of had a hard time choosing today. Can we have it in French? No. I do not speak any Francais. Probably should, due to my ancestry, but I don't. Oh, you know, it might help if I plugged the phone in. Kind of like the thing I need to stream. Okay. Coming up now, chat. Give me one more second. Oh. Sweet dear Lord, baby Jesus. Why was that so loud? Look at the water. Okay. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Here is today's artwork. It was drawn by Long. Go give Long some love. Long's done an art piece for the channel. Yeah, Twitch is trying to scream at me about the changes to the monetization agreement. Gotta love it. Anyways, chat. Hope everyone's doing good. I feel healthy. I feel not tired. And that is so weird. Like, I'm so used to like coming home and I'm just like, oh. I legitimately like just eating less and like cooking for myself and like getting to like clean up the kitchen some. I feel good. I feel like I'm getting stuff done. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, wait, did I get everybody today's art? Forgive me if I didn't. I did. I got both of you guys. Okay. Walter hasn't eaten that burger. Suspension of disbelief broken. You're not wrong. Lots of news pre-Annie. Also, lasagna combined the old Annie CE banner and that old Big Up Summer banner mashup. Yeah, at first when I posted about it, I was like, oh, this is like they actually added servants to this. This is gonna be good. And it's like, oh, there's not like actually a rate up. And it's like I'll give them that. It's like at least they put servants in there. And I'm dead serious because chat, before when you rolled, you basically couldn't get them. So I think at least this does provide some extra additional value to that banner. But is the rate up good? Fuck no. No, it is not. I really, really don't recommend it. This is just the NA 90 plus plus. Forgive me as I'm just sitting here thinking about what to do. Better than just the C's alone, right? Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Just send it. Yeah. Also a banner that all the 5 stars are not splits. Yeah. Yeah, which is it's just basically like a potluck banner. To a degree, that's how things used to be in FGO back in the day, but then they changed it to have like when the pity system came into the game, they made it so that you'd have rotational rate ups. And you know, I think we could say like for the 5 stars, that's definitely better. Just to like be able to isolate a 5-star and get what you want instead of having to roll for one. But what got lost when they did that basically was the 4 stars, and that's what ended up aggravating most people. Like the amazing summer banners they've done before now, only with C's. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I told everyone back in the day, it's like don't roll the summer banners. Summer banners bait. You really don't want them to do stuff like this more often. I'm a little bit more okay with it in this case because, like I said, this is them improving a pre-existing concept. Whoa. I was gonna say, what am I listening to? I like how this just combines so many like concepts that a kid would find cool. Does a kid like samurai? Yeah. Do they like superheroes? Yeah. Do they like Power Rangers? Yeah. Let's combine all three of them. The 90s were a time they were. Is this a show intro? It does, yes. It also has Tim Curry voicing the villain. What the fuck? That's great. Imagine if the rainbow pops. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna say it's a good banner. Obviously, I think like if you roll that banner, you're there for a reason, right, chat? Like you're there literally to get the you're there literally to get the C's. So it's like I'm not gonna say anyone else is gonna really roll it. I'll just give you the word of advice of don't roll it for the units. It's just nice that they added units to it. Lemonade, thank you for the 41. Appreciate it, my dude. Thank you to the people that had follow. I was offline. Lulix is now the top clipper, apparently. Did they just say kick some gigabutt? What is this opening? What is this opening? Okay. The hero was actually a delinquent instead of some squeaky clean, super good guy IRL. Yeah, apparently, lol, you are. I'm just looking at my dashboard and seeing. Like I said, we had a couple people follow us offline. I hope you guys enjoyed the collab with Mr. Fox first there on Friday. I know we didn't get to do Olga that day, and so people were like, "Oh my God, Cad, what are you doing? You're not doing FGO content the second it comes out." Chat, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, FGO is in its 10th year. I don't think I have to do content when it comes out right away anymore. I'm not gonna say like I'm gonna slack on it, but like it's not the end of the day if like I'm like a day or two later on something. It's like you guys know I'll get it all done eventually. It's just one of those deals where like when schedules conflict, I'm just gonna kind of prioritize the confliction right now rather than like FGO when possible. Purely due to the fact that like FGO is not doing much of anything important. Like that Olga quest, it ain't going nowhere. So it's like I knew I didn't need to actually like turn on the jets and go try to like get it done real fast. Life is what it is. Yeah, I got an interesting thing to talk to you guys about, which my sister has been trying to rope my parents and me into going up to like South Carolina with her for Thanksgiving. And I am the only holdout now because basically my parents caved due to my sister just like absolutely just turning the screws on them. And they're looking at me and they're basically going like, "Oh, well, we won't leave you. So if you don't go, we won't go." And I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like, so you're putting all of this on me, basically. Why there? I honestly, I can't answer that question. I don't know. I don't know why there. Like, it's a place they stayed the prior year. So it's a place they're familiar with in that regard. But like, why me? Or like not why me, but why there? Like, I don't know. I could not tell you why that place was originally chosen by them. I think they just wanted to like get out of there. So it is what it is. They want dry heat. That's all we offer at the moment. Listen, trust me, we get that because it is dry heat right here, right now. I saw, I think it was Tampa set a new temperature record today. I think they've been keeping records since 1890, and it was they broke a record that had been standing for like 20 years on temperature. So they were like, "Fuck." But it got to apparently 100 degrees. It's not global warming, guys. I mean, it's not in Tampa's case. There's actually a little bit of a thing too, where like the bigger your city grows, the more it like produces heat, for instance. So it's like the hotter it'll actually get. But yeah, it's like I don't look too much into it other than to say like it's hot, right? Like that's the only reason why I use that. It's very dry, very hot for us right now. It just is what it is. Which is funny because it was pretty chill like literally just the week before. So that's summer. That's just a welcome to Florida moment. But yeah, it's like I don't really understand it either. I think they want to go up to like the mountains or something up there, but like I'm not gonna say it wouldn't be fun, but I don't really care to go. And they want to be gone an entire week. So like apparently I would have internet up there, but I'm like, yeah, but there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to stream. And the problem that I'm going to have is then they're going to want to do the same thing at Christmas. Like not go up there, but like they're going to want me to also then like take a week off and go be with them at Christmas. And I'm getting to the point of just being like, I kind of just want to say no for two reasons. One, I kind of want to see what the reaction is. Like I kind of want to like know, is this going to like drive my sister up a wall where she really doesn't have any reason to be driven up a wall? And two, like I basically just don't want to have like 2 whole weeks taken out for something that wasn't like my vacation or something like that. Tell them you're sick that week? No, I mean, I can't do it. It's family in that regard. It's like I think they'll respect me if I tell them no, but like they're telling me like I'm gonna have to board the dogs, which the dogs have never been boarded. I'm not gonna say I couldn't, just that the dogs don't know that yet. But like I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, man, like I am torn between filial obligations and just like I just don't actually want to go like spend the time and go do all this stuff. It just sounds like a major pain in my ass. Like I'm sure it'll be fun once I get there type deal, but kennel cough is a thing, yeah. Move to a different country to escape them. That's what my family did. I don't want to know why that is the case, but okay. I sense a story there, but it's probably not one for stream. That's wild. Yeah. I like I said. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I feel like they're gonna really turn the screws on me, and I'm gonna have to say yes. But I really don't want to say yes. That's my problem. And the thing that I hate here is basically that they're pinning it all on me. So if I say no, they all are just gonna look at me and they're gonna get really upset with me, and I'm just gonna be like, "It is what it is." Say yes, but make them owe you. Yep, turning up heat under pressure. Yeah, I'm dead serious. This is why like now more than ever, I really just want to like start dating and like meet someone, because I'm so sick and tired of being dangled around like a third wheel by my family, where like I try to do right by them, but the rest of the family all has an excuse, and when it comes to me, none of my excuses are legitimate to them. Like if I tell them like, hey, like I want to stream, hey, I've got this other thing I need to do, they're not going to accept that. They're gonna be like, oh well, no you don't. And that's honest to God, that's what drives me up a wall about them. Is like basically they just don't respect any of this. Hey, I need to stream to make money, Dad. If I said that, my dad might give me a raise. That might be a thing. Okay, we're not going to do that. I can't because I don't want to. See, I can't say it like that. That would definitely make them go like, why don't you want to? But that's the truth. I don't want to. Like, do it, Cad. Test the waters now. Like, I'm not trying to like create drama with the family, right? I don't like that they've done this. That they've basically backed me into the corner and are like putting all the pressure on me. So, family never handles no well. I know. And then I feel like if I say no, I'm going to get how should I put it? Like the equivalent of like, oh, well, he said no, he's never going to say yes now. And it's like, that's also not true. I just hate the idea of spending an entire week going to some foreign location. Okay, so one of the things, and I love this, right? They have now assured me that they will be getting a turkey. I want you to think about that, chat. Because that wasn't the thing before. Do you not usually get a turkey? No, we do. One of my complaints prior to this point for why I didn't want to go was it's not Thanksgiving. And so now they're like, oh, okay, I guess we'll do Thanksgiving. And I'm like, they're trying to gobble your attention. I wouldn't say it's that. Like, it's not like I've spent a shit ton of time with them, right? It's just, God, this is all an excuse for a vacation there. Yes, and here's what's funny, right? Part of the reason for it is because literally they don't want to have to like do all the stuff to celebrate Thanksgiving. And I'm like, what? Like, I think that's what's like so tiring about all this to me. Growing older, and maybe it's the same with you guys and your families, right? I couldn't tell you, but like growing older, I have watched as my siblings basically have destroyed every like tradition our family had. Every tradition. They have gone off, they have gone and done their own shit. It's all of it selfish, all of it for themselves. And then they want you to bend over backwards and come participate. And like, that's what I fucking despise. It's like part of me just wants to have the normal family get together. But if I say that, I'm ruffling feathers. Like, what is wrong with just getting together and having dinner? Oh, it's so much work. So is getting in the car and driving like an entire day up to South Carolina. And then still having to celebrate Thanksgiving up there. Like, that's what I don't understand about this. Not gonna lie, they're being weird about this, respectfully declining their dining invitation on this occasion would be the best course of action. I wish I could put it so eloquently. I like that's the problem I'm having. It's gotten to the point where like even my father has sat down to talk with me now. He did it today at work, and I was like I legitimately could not look my father in the eye because part of it was I didn't want to be angry at my father. I was angry. I didn't want to be angry at my father because it's not my father's fault. My father is getting forced to talk to me because they're all trying to like ramp up the pressure and use intermediaries. And I'm like, dude. I mean, again, this probably sounds to some of you, it probably sounds ridiculous because it's like, oh my God, it's a nice family vacation in South Carolina. What's so bad about that? And I'm like, I literally am just saying that the majority of what I don't like about this is that it's like breaking the traditions and it's just spending an entire week on this, whereas it maybe would only need to be like a weekend or something. Bad parents just do not know how to accept your independence and saying no. Yeah, I feel like if I say no, it's gonna have some really bad repercussions. That's the problem. Because like, honest to God, if they're gonna like shit the traditions down the tube, I don't mind skipping a year on Thanksgiving. Because part of me doesn't like what they've done on some of the other holidays too. And this might be the one that they lose me in that regard. And I might just say enough is enough, no, and put my foot down and cause a stink. And they're not going to like me because of it. They're going to get deeply upset with me and they're not going to want to invite me to other stuff. And I'm just going to basically say it's on them. It's such a big no for me. Yeah, it's literally the case of they planned all of this outside. My brother and my sister conspired. Walter and Shisha are Bond 10. Wait, what? Did Walter finally hit Bond 10 and I just didn't notice it? Am I blind? Oh, interesting. That must have happened really close. That can't have been a case for long. Shisha was Bond 10 for some time, I think. No, it shouldn't have been that long. Both of them were pretty close, I think. Is your perspective Grand Rider Bond 10 already? No, but close. Like, literally, it would be the case of even if I started, they would probably get there, like, almost immediately. Like, that would be there real fast. Now, should I do something about it? Yes. Do I have time to do something about it? No. Would you rather Lalter or Saber Lily get a summer version this year? Lalter. What even is her Bonsi? Quick up. I think it's quick and attack, if I remember correctly. 44k and shit, to be honest. Yeah, I'm aware. That's why I was just like, whatever. It'll get there. I'm not super worried about it. I think the problem would be if I like if it does happen before I can get her to Bond 10. As I think what I'm noticing is just like, yeah, I don't think I'm playing JP very much on the regular. Because of Grand Duel being the way that it is. It is very, very, very much incentivizing it to just do it and nothing else. I could expire 10 days. I got some time. Actually, chat, what is this? No, it's Ryder next. Just noticed that's like hovering above the edge of the world. That's a really weird effect. I'm not farming free quests anymore in JP. These grand deals are too busted drop wise. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't remember the last time I farmed a free quest. Like literally, chat. The last time I farmed a free quest was probably on the alt account. On either my main or my JP. Like, even my main hasn't really had to farm them too much. And JP hasn't farmed them since Bleached Earth came out. Like, NA is already at that point where it probably will not farm stuff. Unless I just really need a monthly or really need to go sit on a node for some reason. I farm Bleached Earth? Yeah, I'm just saying, like Bleached Earth nodes are their own thing, right? And they have storm pods that limit them. Literally, I don't remember the last time I farmed a free quest, chat. That's what I'm saying. Which is wild. You do the LB nodes sometimes? Yeah, that's like literally that's probably the last time I actually did. And even then, I think, and this is why I say, like, when people are like, oh my god, farming an FGO is so bad, I'm like, don't get me wrong. I get that, like, there's a lot that a newer account needs. Okay, I perfectly understand that. I see, like, veterans complaining about the farming in FGO, and I'm like, you just not, like, play in the opportunities that they gave you? Did you just, like, slack off and not log in and not actually, like, do your weeklies and stuff? Because, like, I'm dead serious about this, chat. The vast majority of, like, what I get stuff from now are the, like, monthly tickets. Like, chat, you get 5 per day. 5. Or is it 4? Sorry, I think it's 4. Either way. And you literally get triple mat basically from it. Like, you get like 120 of a given resource every freaking month. And it's like, yeah, that's why I don't have to farm. Because as long as my need doesn't exceed this, why would I ever have to touch anything? Literally, like, we get new materials that come out. They're almost all handled from the monthly ticket, and then if the monthly ticket doesn't actually cover it, there is the events. And then if the events somehow don't cover it, there's pure prisms. Like, I'm not kidding. It's literally, those are the 3 things that I use to get resources now on my NA account. So it's like, aside from just sitting down and farming like embers and stuff like that, it's like, I don't actually have to farm ascension mats anymore. It's really weird. It's a weird situation to be in. Hope you're having a great time. Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for the follow. I need feathers so badly. Yeah. And guaranteed drops from Bleached Earth nodes. Yeah. Like I said, I just, between those 3 alone, that covers the vast majority of people's needs. And I'm dead serious on that. Do you have any tips for the third Olga U battle? It's really funny to see now a bunch of people are trying to take on the third one. No, I don't. And I will explain why. It is still the only battle that I have not completed at the highest degree. I think the other ones I did at the highest degree. This one, I did not. I only got to like the 2nd difficulty. And I completed that. I could not do it on the highest degree simply because I was not whaley enough. And it's really funny because I had people in chat at the time that were like, oh, no, what do you mean, Cat? It's not that hard. No. And then like they would tell me like, oh, like people killed it by doing various things. And I'm like, okay, did they do that on the hardest difficulty? No. And then I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. The 90 like triple star for this is just actually like crap. And to me, it's not tuned with any sort of like remotely normal player in mind. Like, because again, chat, even my JP account has spent money on the game. My JP account can't do this. So that should tell you guys a lot. My JP account's exceedingly efficient at how it spends money. So it's the ultimate check of did you MP5 all your DPS to a degree, yeah. And like did you min-max the strategy type deal? It's like, oof. Yeah, no, we're gonna be doing the Olga 4 one, but I'm sorry, like it's been long enough since I've done Olga 3 that I don't remember it enough to like give you some good tips. I can remember that I had to like backload certain DPS, like God, what was her face, chat? Seal. Seal was a really, really good hard carry at the end. But like besides that, it was rough. I remember you did BB Dubai Wave 1. Yeah, you might be able to find my clear on YouTube somewhere. If you check the VODs channel, it's probably still there. I just, like, God. That one I did not like. To a degree, I don't think I'm a huge fan of the Olga fights because the Olga fights require you to spend a shit ton of time crafting the composition. So, let me go check. Oh, also, chat. This keeps slipping my mind, and I keep forgetting to tell you guys. But we did start a Steam group for anyone that wants to join. This is the abbreviation of the Steam group, and the reason why is because the abbreviation CAD was already taken. So it is what it is. If you guys want to join, feel free to. I figured it'd just be an easy way for you guys to like be able to keep track with each other and interact with each other across games. And it would be obviously like for my purposes easier to like add people on Steam whenever we're playing like a community game or something like that. So that's why I went ahead and got this set up. But it's publicly open. You just have to hit like join group and it'll let you. I don't like. I'm not gonna sit there and like try to police it or anything like that. I'm trying to find my app media here. Here it is. Looks like the last time I was on app media was for the Typhon fight. Like 2 events ago. Yeah, Olga 3's rough. You really gotta like fine tune it. My advice, just focus on getting the like easiest tier done. The problem is, out of all of them, they're not very easy, if you ask me. And apparently this unlocks the Beast class score. Dad, is this the boss battle immediately? Or is this like a prelude? Yeah, I mean, I can give you guys the link to Olga 4 here on App Media. And you can find Olga 3 through that. So if you guys need help doing any of the others, there's the App Media link. I like when it comes to like cutting edge JP content, I use App Media chat because fandom doesn't update JP content soon enough. Fandom doesn't update NA content until way later anyways. So while I may prefer fandom in general, it's obviously way too slow when you need to like know something. So that's where App Media comes in. It is the basically like the quintessential JP site for the game. And they do an excellent job of breaking stuff down. But you are gonna have to like machine translate it a lot of the times. I was gonna say I've heard their stories, so I don't know if the story is before or after. I have not watched anyone do this fight. I did talk to Trubs about it. Although I forget any of the points that Trubs made. And contrary to Trubs' belief, it's not because it goes in one ear out the other. It's because I literally just didn't commit it to memory. So I think this is telling me that you can go in order, but you have to like swap stuff. Like you can switch between your parties, but you can only switch like it goes party 1 to party 2 to party 3 to party 4. Like it literally you have to go in order. Do you go to search for community groups? It's not showing up for me. For the Steam community. I put it in the announcements earlier, but I'll link it again in CAD chat on the Discord if you want to go grab it there. I need to do stuff to like keep some of my like more important links separate from everything else, but I gotta like figure out a way to do that on Discord. I do not know what this is saying. Oh, never mind. This is the I think this is what Trump's told me. So there is a card type effect that like if I hit her with a quick card, it will then grant her like some sort of vulnerability, right, chat? Or it like locks her out of NPing. Something like that. It stalls the timer. Thank you. Yes. I couldn't remember what it did. There's some way to stop her from MPing, though, isn't there? I seem to remember that being a case. Okay, so 3 assassins. So first wave is 3 assassins with 900 to 100k HP. Start of battle, your HP is reduced to 1. There are no other gimmicks. Use an AoE Noble Phantasm advantageous class to wipe them. Okay, so let's see. What are they? Earth, male, humanoid, human, and beast. In chat, if you guys have any contributions, feel free to go ahead and say them. Just please make sure you're sure of what you're saying before you spout some nonsense. I mean, it's probably going to be Ace here. Can I post all the info I have in chat? I mean, you can? I guess it depends on how much info you have. Yeah, can I reuse C's? I don't feel like I can. I feel like it's restrictive, isn't it? No. God damn. These restricted. Do I have to use a team of 3? Yeah, I'm gonna have to like deal with that as I can. So give me 1 second, chat. I need a Death Noble Phantasm. Um, this may be a job for Nito. I don't have Doman. Do I have King Sun on this? I think I do, but I'm not really sure I want to like commit too much to it. If my life not for honor, but for you. Did I not get Assassin Nito on JP? I thought I did. Ugh. Eris Lancer. Well, what I'm looking for, chat, do I have a unit that has like death resist down? Okay. Because like Shiki, yeah. And I'm just like, do I want to use Shiki here? I don't know. I guess we'll like put her in potentially. Super Scope Nito? Not really worth, I think. Lobo or Hassan? Lobo might work. That Avenger? No, that's Ruler. You just nuke wave 2 with a strong single target. It's basically you're supposed to defeat it with instant death. Does not activate if you change parties. Interesting. So it's one rider. See, like that's why I said like I'm not wild about this. Where is King Hassan? Like, I don't think I need a CE in that comp. So this is Cerberus. And her NP worked every time I ran it. Okay, so I really just don't need to do a whole lot then on that. Because I think that's literally all I need there. Careful the HP values of some. I know. That's why I'm... This may be my actual K-scope, but we'll see. Chad, fill out the party's fully. You can bring them back if the party wipes in 10. No, that's fine. That's fine. I want just the essentials. We can come back. We can revisit these. Three berserkers with the HP between 100 and 170k. Each has resistance to attacks other than quick, crit, and NP. Use a quick AoE NP to defeat two of them, then defeat one with a critical hit. Okay. I leave NP1. Do I have Bond Tennifer? I don't remember what her Bond C looks like. Like, if you devs are really being mean with the Olga fights, I mean, I think they're designed to be a challenge, but I'm just, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you it's because we're getting a free Olga. Sorry, I literally have to go look up what her bonsai is because I legitimately do not remember. Okay, it's like the 2 wedding bands. This. That buster up? Critical damage of party's buster cards when she's on the field. It's not the best, but I'll take it. I don't remember, chat. Can you use dupes of the same thing? Like, if I have one K-scope, can I use a different K-scope? See. Damn, I can't. Why are they so smart, chat? Why are they so damn intelligent? Intelligentsia. Uh... It's a star bomb, quick up. Not bad, actually. Go with that. Okay, so that's wave 4. Wave 5 is 1 Lancer with 2800 HP. Class compatibility is reversed. Ooh! Disgusting. It's the Camelot mechanic all over again. Do I go for Squirtle? Such a shame. She would be a grand for me if not for that shit. But like, boo for looking ahead. Boo. Nah, dude. Chat. I might hear that complaint on literally any other fight in the game. But the Olga fights take so fucking long to set up that you literally cannot blame a single person for using a guide. Like, it is just an extreme time waste. The Olga fight's mandatory. Technically, no, but I assume you're going to have a free Olga locked behind it, so if you don't, you'll just be probably gimping yourself. I don't want to use him because I do remember something Trub said about, I think it's 50 star, or is it 99 stars prevents her from NPing? Dude, Gil. The reverse thing happened to me. It was so mean-spirited. Oh, yeah. See, I can get more firepower out of these comps, but I'm like, do I? Should I? Caskill has party charge right now, right? Doesn't he? I'm not misremembering that. Still on 30%? Yeah, okay. Oh no. Party is 20. So. And then Shufu should have 30 herself. So Shufu plus her means we can start from 0. All right, chat, we got to find another 0 starting charge C. Another ending royalizing. Yeah. Yeah, royalizing's probably what to go with, honestly. Okay, team 5. Sorry, that was team 5. Team 6. One archer with a maximum HP of 7,000, or sorry, 780,000. God, I couldn't think of how to say it. Max HP up, 3 effects will decrease by 1 each turn. If you were short on firepower, wait for the max HP up to wear off. When all effects wears off, it'll be 2,800. Or 2,800. 280,000. God. So this is just, hey, actually use a single target Lancer against this. Wave 6 is a Tiger tank. And it is Heaven and Machine. So Sky and Machine. I think they want you to like spend the time here, chat. So I think you're smart if you actually just go at it and try to kill it. Yeah, I'm pulling up the actual Tiger tank. Okay, so it should be Sky. It is mechanical. Considered an artificial demon, and it has no other exploitable trait. Hey, man. Uh, wait, what? Okay. Weird. I could throw in Lartoria here. But for the Scotty, my problem is I use the Scotties on the Dantes variant. Ever append unlocked? Ew. Could you just wang or woo? I'd probably wang at that point. I'm just worried I get wang cards. Okay. Next one. 87. One caster with a lot of HP. Gimmick based on the number of attack buffs and defense buffs you have. Double Phantasm debuff if you have less than 7 attack buffs. The game is punishing you for not metagaming. Chance of instant death when taking damage. You have less than 3 defense buffs. Oh no. Pay attention to the number of attack buffs if you are using a quick attack. The number of defense buffs if you are using endurance. Yeah, does the timer start from the first round? Yeah, where's my OK scope? Yeah, where's my OK scope? What have you done with it? Is he all right? Where is he? There he is. Kentucky! You need a CE, my man. Where's my Holy Night Supper? Am I blind? I would need a 50%er. But like... You have less than 7 attack buffs. So I guess the question is, what does it consider an attack buff, chat? Like, does it consider a crit up an attack buff? Because otherwise he only provides 1. He only has another one. She has 3. 2 of which are given to other people. How the fuck are you supposed to get to 7, dude? Does Ace skill 1 count as multiple? I don't know. Maybe only if they're in play, right? 10 enemies in total in a mixed class instant replenishment format. 9 enemies with around 60k HP. 1 Avenger with 210k. Enemies other than Vengeance are constantly stunned. They will not attack. Berserker with AoE Noble Phantasm is recommended. Get Nemo welfare? Why? Because they'll auto loop? It says it's mixed class though, so this is where like some of the stuff gets hard because you're like sitting there and you're like, well, I know what the solution is, but I don't have the units to properly support it. Okay. Team 9. What? We're gonna go back, chat. Trust me. 1 Lancer with 570,000 HP. Enemy gets buffs every time you use a skill. Attack, defense, max HP up for 1 turn. Wait 1 turn after using a skill, or prepare to ignore defense. Ooh. Ooh. Waivers attack up should be 2. Actually, that's a good point. Thank you. I did forget about that. Draco's not a bad idea, actually. I think the problem is, do I need to quote unquote buff, right? Save Draco for Olga? Yeah, Beast does have attack advantage. Okita ignores defense too. Yeah, my only problem is my Okita is not terribly strong on JP. It's just in P1. So I'm not going to say I can't. I'm just going to say it's probably not going to do a whole lot. I thought there was a quick... Yeah. Um... Yeah, we'll leave her on. Well, hold on. Close. And then party 10. Okay, so let's go look now at what Olga's gimmick is. So there are 5 classes that have advantage against her. You have Saber, Ruler, Foreigner, Shielder, and Beast. So, like chat said, Draco, especially given my Draco, probably a really good idea here for this. So it is a triple break bar fight, which means 4 health pools. There's a maximum HP increase gimmick, so please use it as a reference. The star attribute, order, evil, threat to humanity, and women. What am I doing? I'm probably going to set this up as the go-to, but we'll see. Actually, I almost assuredly want that there. Do I have another Prisma? Have that. That's going to be what I'm going to have to do because I can't use double Prisma. Ah! Okay, so chat. What do I need to know about this? Effect unconfirmed. Oh, that's joyous. Thank you. Are you able to use command seals and Sancor revives? As far as I know, no. At least not yet. That might be something they might add like after the fact. Where they go like, hey, okay, now anniversary's out, now everyone's gotten their free Olga. And like somewhere down the line, they might just go like, now you can do that. But to be fair, they don't really do that too often. She spams her NP a bit. Yeah, I wish. I'm dead serious. I wish I could actually do more here. So we'll get Mash in here. I've heard Mash Paladin can handle like the final wave. Backfile some star bombs in generation. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking I'm gonna do. Over the classes again. Okay, so she doesn't like ruler. What a coincidence. I love rulers. Oh, my mash deal 33 million damage to Olga. That's not surprising. I'm just looking to see, does she have any like one-shot kill mechanic that I need to set up for and avoid? So like something where she like buff strips me or like instant charges and stuns me or something like. Doesn't she kill you on first break? See, like that is something I would need to know. It just says her double phantasm is a powerful attack on all enemies, so it reduces HP by 50% on NP. Is it permanent or is it like a cleansable debuff? And chat, you said I can go backwards, like I can backfill the other party members? And 1, 2, oh my god. Do I not have MLB fragment? One short, it looks like. Where was it? Did I pass it? Yeah, let's remove her. Thank you, Cody, for the sub. Appreciate it, my dude. It's a flat effect that reduces your HP regardless of evade, invuln, or anti-purge defense. Motherfucker. I mean, does it expire, or is it just like it is permanent? Dude, you know what'd be wild is if Ideal Holy King affected literally everyone. That would be wild, chat. It's so like rough. Just trying to like come up with a composition for everything. I don't know, man. Take Ideal Holy King. Chat, can I back out of this once I've slotted in my team? Yes. Trusting chat. Actually, I don't even know if she can be burned. Probably can't be. I really like the idea behind these gauntlets, but they're really overtuned. Yeah, I kind of agree. They're all like anti-divine and stuff. I fuck it. Go with it. Is this fight possible for free to play? I'm not going to say it's not, but I do believe that this sort of thing is problematic. I guess I'll put something in here for Nito. Poison pill, baby. I don't even know if some of that's going to work, so. And I am assuming my Mystic Code does not matter. But my Mystic Code doesn't matter anyways. You can use it here, I think? Oh, I don't feel like I can. You can use your MC? Can I? Damn, okay. Alright, let's send it. Let's try, chat. Let's see what we got. Okay, Final Fantasy X. So we have 25 turns to kill this. All of our HPs are set to 1, because why wouldn't they be, chat? I just hope that Ace is going to do enough right here. Wait, this isn't Evray? Yeah. Okay. Alright, this is the death proc. Gonna get some free charge for Bunny. Remember, you can't go back? Backwards not the problem. I probably shouldn't have popped that, but whatever. Let me just try this with her. We'll scuff it if it's way too low, and it probably is, but... yeah, it is. Damn. Not bad, though. I was hoping that I could get away with saving Shiki's MP, but apparently that's a big no. It's the time limit that irks me. Yeah, I mean, the time limit is mostly to force you not to just stall everything. So I guess I kind of understand. It's like, if you didn't have a time limit, you wouldn't really have to switch parties. You could just set up a party comp that dealt with the vast majority of it, and you could just make everything the tankiest, stalliest thing out there. You can stall it at the end with the right card, yeah. Though, admittedly, if you lose on like the last turn, that's gotta just feel oof, right? I was right to put in 2 NPs in here, though. Cat. Oh, we ascend. This is the 3 Berserker wave. Well, this one shouldn't be too bad. Gonna have to use the charges. Okay. I got no cards for him. Wow! Wow! So I lose a turn probably off of this. That's unfortunate. Unless like it takes like super damage from crits. Okay. Like, oh, kill it with a crit. I don't think I needed to. See, and now I don't get a Buster card. If I had a Buster card, this probably kills. Like, like I would not have to rotate the party here. This is overkill. I can tell. Banana rotate. Well, we're rotating this dude's banana here. Okay, then we got the tiger tank. So this one's the one I think I might fail. We'll see. Let's send these two. See how much damage we get. I don't think she'll kill. Because it's not divine is the problem. It's done it though. Yeah. Well, I'm already screwed. So we send it to win it. Go Grand Lancer, go. God damn. I should have just combined all three. I would have saved myself a turn. At least she got a little bit of charge back on that. Alright, this is the caster head. This is the one that, like, I need to, like, outright murder hobo it because of the chance of instant death. Yeah, by the way, chat. Oh, no, okay, I can use Mystic Code. It's a party effect. I may have to scuff this again. Like, this is just feeling some of these out because I have no idea if what I've set up is actually going to work. And the real fight is at the end. That MP debuff is nasty. That MP debuff is nasty, dude. Holy crap. Holy crap. That's a big yikes. Like, I would have thought both of them would have been capable of it, but I guess that 7 attack buff thing is just nasty here. Is it, like, specifically punishing the fact that I'm quick? I guess that's the other question. Yeah, it does not say. NP up, attack up, Buster, quick arts, ignore, invulnerable, sure hit, special attack, crit up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because that makes 6. So I just don't have the 7th. It's not going anywhere. That's the problem. I can sack 2 turns here, and this just will not be pretty. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think the question is this considered? And I'm gonna bet it is, but oh yeah, I can't click. But that is literally my only play. Oh, it deactivated it. Okay, good. Good. It did deactivate. Problem is I lost Kentucky's NP. I lost Kentucky entirely. But yeah, I think it's better to like I should have gotten another buffer in there and just buff the crap out of Made Alter. And then I don't lose the extra turn there. Okay. She should kill this. I think the thing I'm worried about is does she loop? Come on, give me the charge per turn. Should be enough. Didn't matter anyways. Could you kindly not, like, curse all of my people to death? Thank you! Alright. He gets the kill. Curses are a little annoying. Also, the just random damage you take every turn. I can't wait till I get to my 1 HP party and watch them all die. Enemy gets a buff every time you use a skill. Send it? I don't think this is gonna kill. And if I keep this, I preserve all of the buffs. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about is like, how dangerous am I making him right here? Gonna put Musashi, or, not Musashi, Nero's card third. Okay, thankfully he's not like crazy hard. Let's send this and let's see. Five attack episodes, class disadvantage. Yeah. I don't think this kills. I mean, that's NP1 for you, but yeah, like when I see stuff like that, chat, and I'm dead serious. Like, obviously, could I like come in here? Could I buff with like Scotty and stuff? Yeah, that's certainly a thing. But I look at that, and that's where I start going like, if the NP1's really gonna struggle, was this designed right? Because again, like, I understand they want this to be a challenge, but you got to have more than whales getting through this content. Let me check something real quick, chat. Just checking his trait. He's Earth. Fuck me. So that doesn't even help. The MP5 Welfare Saber to get more damage? You're not wrong at this point. Actually, I probably should have just gone for the Mighty, but whatever. This is, I did not expect this. I did not expect that this was going to be the guy that fucked the run up. Like the caster head one, that one I did. This one, I did not expect this. Not in the slightest. This guy exists to screw over everyone with a mana burst style kit. Yeah. And yet still, that dealt a shit ton of damage, but I might be able to crit my way out of this. Of course he killed Nero Bride. I think this is basically Wind Olga. Chat, will an NP of the correct type count for the gimmick? I have no idea how hard she hits. We get a Brave Chain might get 50 stars. Chat, help me out here. If the party on the field is wiped out, a star will be gained when using a skill on the next turn. I'm safe to be wiped out, right? Like, she's not going to get some, like, super ultra giga gimmick, right? Okay, to out here soloing a bar, basically. Now, was that the turn that halved my party's health? It'll happen here? God damn it. That's fucking annoying. Like, I wish something like that would not happen. Not enough NP? I know. That's why I'm thinking about this. I'm debating, do I block with invuln right now? Actually, she would have gotten that anyways. Wait, is she skill sealed? She is skill sealed, but she already has delayed effects. So I'm not sure what the effect is that chat's talking about. You're telling me that she's going to half my HP. I don't know if one of these is that. Like, so I can't tell you if, like, oh, she already has it, or like, and it's just going to happen, or if, like, no, she can't do it while she's skill sealed. That's why Draco's awkward. I mean, if I had used a different Mystic Code, it might have been fine, but I'm okay with like delaying a turn here. I think my bigger issue is I'm so in the dark and I don't know what's going to happen. So I guess I try to block because it's all I know to do here at this point. Um. So is it this next bar break is when that's going to happen? I need a quick card and I don't have a quick card. I assume she bar pops here. Easily. Problem is when a boss puts on defense buffs, you're never sure like just how much it is. Please don't instant charge. Because if she does, I have to scuff. She will NP each turn. MP sealed Castoria, dang. Yeah, that's just oof. Got the bar at least. Come on, chat. Not Seymour's theme. Come on. I think she's talking. She's letting me know that she's about to yeetus deletus me. 4 million. Yuck. That is not what I want. Wow, that went through it. Please don't kill Draco. Thank God. Thank God. I was like, the only thing that I was really worried about is like, please don't kill Draco. Please. Yeah, the heal down is trash. I'd suggest that you swap her for later. I mean, but I have all of my buffs right now. I also don't know what this debuff is. It looks like terror of some sort. HP removal is actually on our HP. It's separate from the damage it does. Oh, okay. That's actually much more dealable. There's no going back. Yes, we know that. Her HP ups will fall off eventually. You know the Roman command code on it? No, it's actually on my alertory at the moment. So chat's saying that the HP ups are what's giving her this, but chat, is she just going to keep adding HP up? I think that's my question. Or is that a bar break mechanic? Because if that's like something that it's like, oh yeah, like she's going to lose down to like 2 million health or something after 5 turns. That is definitely stallable to a degree, but keep in mind I can only do this once per turn. Should proceed to nuke my other 9 teams alone. Yeah, I believe it. I mean, I do have some good units like still slotted in, kind of, but I don't have a lot, so you're not wrong. Might be able to taunt Glitcher. I don't have enough to charge to full, so this is basically use it or lose it. I do need a Buster card here. I could attack up next turn, but not here. Much better song choice, chat. Guys are making me glad that I did that swap. That did not do dick for damage. Just need an arts card, so. Do now NP every turn, have fun with that. Yeah, that's a little bit more what I'm worried about, is that like Draco's gonna come out here before I really have an opportunity. It's gonna be do or die with Draco. I can't do it. I have to take the quick card. But dear God, I want to do that so bad. Ugh. Triple Buster Chain or Brave Chain. No Buster crit on the second one. I think I could do that 2 million. No, I'm just stalling her ass out. You know, clears trust, yes. Oh, nice. You put the curse on her. Just a little too late. If you like the NP seal, though, that helps. This is not good. All right, hold on. I gotta remind myself how King Hassan's charge works here. Because I think it's when his guts procs. Yeah, so he's got 30% on the third skill, which means he's just shy. Oh, it's only on guts activate. No! This is not a good comp. They are gonna get cooked, chat. They are just gonna get cooked. What do you mean, just instant death? Or can you imagine if I did? Can you imagine if that actually, like, landed? Really? Really with the NP seal? Is this, like, turnabout is fair play because I NP'd you? Is that how this one's going? God damn it. God damn it, woman. Well, everybody but King Hassan's dead. And then maybe King Hassan might also be dead. Depends on if she goes for an attack here. She does not. Sweet. This isn't gonna do dick for damage, chat, but the faster this team dies, the better, actually. And to a degree, it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to get this as low as possible. Because this is really going to come down to, can Draco one-shot? And does the game consider it a failure if my unit dies afterwards? This has some crit potential. How many turns? 2? But he'd need to get to full here. Okay, that's just dickish. And it's Buster up, so I lose a turn finally. I should have used that. I don't know why I didn't. I'm like debating, do I use this team and have it get some pittance of damage, or do I just go ahead and I rotate? Because I think, like, if I do this, problem is I may just be feeding them right into another NP. Won't change much, I know. That's what I'm worried about. God, of course I get the freaking... This is probably a scuff, chat. Just hold on. That's what I wanted to see. 1, was it going to be an instant charge? 2, would it immediately get my my Shisho to full? The thing is, like, I don't think dodging helps there. I think she literally just is going to pierce the dodge and kill me. Evade? No, I know. I was purposely trying to see, could I squeeze out the evade, and I could not. I could not. That was literally a use it or lose it deal. Also 49 stars. Fuck you, game. Oh, it did help. Interesting. Now I will get another NP off. Although I don't think I can stun. I can't deny that I was similar to this. The difference is I know light at the end of the tunnel like his Draco. Yeah. No, thank you for telling me to swap. I don't think I would have. And it would have just probably cost me another run. And this still isn't in the bag by any means. It's just we're getting her down to a more manageable number. Okay, so this is party 7. 8 is next. 9's dead already, so basically 2 more. It does not matter. Hard to tell when you're stuck in the millions. Yeah, this is like me trying to just soften her up as much as humanly possible with these teams. Oh, gee, Shisha skill 3. It didn't matter anyways. No matter what I did. But Flock does work here. It does, but she has so much like stuff that I'm not sure it would matter. Like with how much she's just spamming it out. Stuff that Draco can do like a million damage. That's really what it's going to boil down to. If the Draco can't, I lose. If the Draco can, I win. Of course, it does nothing. Close. I didn't get overkill, but there you go. Oh, there we go, chat. Yeah, that's a little too close for comfort. I mean, obviously, if I had to redo that again, I could have refined that some, but that's easier than Earth Olga, I think. But that's just the first difficulty. Though I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know that I really feel like doing the harder difficulties on this anymore. Like, just for the sheer amount of time that it takes, I think like one off as a challenge, they're okay. Like they are interesting in the fact that they make you like think and have to come up with different solutions, but they feel way overtuned. It feels like the game is literally punishing you without damage bonuses rolling around, damage seas, yada yada yada. So it's like I honest to God, I think like newer players are just legitimately going to have a hard time clearing this stuff. I think they're not going to have the depth of the account. They're not going to have the CEs on the account. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, with something like the new player account, I can't even fathom doing something like this right now. Like, this is you need to have been invested in your account for at least like, I want to say like 2 to 3 years probably before something like this becomes reasonable for most people. I'm not gonna say you couldn't do this like that. There's not some like whiz kid out there that's gonna come up with the perfect comp that like knows the game in and out that's gonna be able to figure it out, right? Like and do it. But I'm gonna say at the end of the day that would require a lot of specificity, a lot of gearing up specifically like for this fight in that regard, and like custom tailoring the comps and still like perfect play. I don't think that's fair to the vast majority of players. So I guess it really depends on like what they're going to lock behind this. If this is truly just a like standalone challenge and there is no other requirement locked behind it, that's fine. Right now, I'm assuming there is because you get a piece every time you beat one of these. And that's where I go like, yeah, if they actually lock a reward behind this, I think they're going to get some people mauling at them. So I don't think this will be a good thing for the game long term if they continue to do stuff like this. Peace has some significance, surely. Yeah, so it's like, it just is what it is. Not exactly my cup of tea as far as the challenge goes. I don't mind the gimmicks. I mind the tuning of it. I mind the amount of time it takes, like the setup and like, I mean, you guys saw how long we set up. I was talking with you guys about what the mechanics were. I had a guide pulled up on the side, at least telling me what the nodes were. It didn't tell me team comps or anything like that. So could I absolutely get way more out of this? Sure. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But I think for the amount of time and the amount of investment for a mobile game that their design mantra was supposedly play as you have the time, I think the Olga fights violate every single aspect of that mantra. So that's one of the things I don't like about it. I think as a concept, as a one-off, it's fine, it's cool, but I do think if they lock stuff behind it, you're gonna get some people upset. So, but anyways, yeah, that was the fight chat. And there you guys go. You guys could see everything I used. Party X carried. Although admittedly we got some really good use out of certain parties, and then other parties we just did not. So it was what it was. Interesting rewards. Draco finished the fight that unlocks her class score. Yeah. Which is hilarious because, oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you have class score locked behind these. I completely forgot about that. So that's not gonna be good. I mean, like, at least all the class scores that are locked behind it are extra class scores. But yeah, I think in general, this is not good for the game to have this and to lock like things that the devs clearly want you to get and do and participate in behind such a high bar of a challenge. I'm not going to say they can't lock stuff behind challenges. I think they absolutely can. But I think when you make it really, really high end like that, it's like, yeah, I could easily see people struggling with this for years on end and just saying like, hey, you know, fuck it, I'm never going to get this. I should not click that. There we go. And then, yeah, if I want to do more, I can. So wait, chat, are there the more difficult ones? Is there like the 2-star and the 3-star variant for this, or is that all there was? That's all there was. Really? That's interesting. Huh. Is what it is. I mean, didn't they do more difficulties with some of the others, or was it just 3? Earth was the only one like that, was it? I could have sworn the first and the second had higher difficulties. Fearless, thank you for the 15. Appreciate it, my dude. And welcome back. Only fully serious this time. Yeah, like, again, I don't want to, like, challenge people angry with me for these comments, but I am, like, making these comments on behalf of, like, the everyman, the average player, the people that are, like, I'm just going to say, like, somebody that does reasonably take care of their account and has been playing, like, I still think if they don't have certain setups, if they don't have certain things at their disposal, it can be very difficult. Like, if you don't have that MLB Black Grail, if you don't have that NP5 of that super hard carry unit, it's not that it's gonna, like, make it impossible. It's just going to make it way tougher, and probably something that, like, your average person may or may not have the, like, technical expertise to pull off. I would not be surprised if so few people did Earth's higher difficulties, they decided not to do it. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm a textbook example of this, of, like again, you saw what I said. It's like, oh, I don't even want to do the higher difficulty. There is no higher difficulty. But I already just went ahead and prefaced that on stream. Because I don't. Earth convinced me of that. Earth convinced me that this is like the super recos, and I just don't have time for them. I have time for recos. I don't have time for super recos. The reward is not worth the amount of time you spend on it. Like, you don't gain anything out of it, other than, I guess, bragging rights, right? But like I said, I beat every super reco on JP, and then when it came to NA, I was like, I don't care. I didn't do a single super reco on it. Well, that's not true. I did do some super recos. I think, like, where Avalon had, like, a really easy 3-turn solution for me, I did them. But, like, my JP was not capable necessarily of doing those. So that's where it's like, yeah, I realized it's like, holy shit, this just isn't worth. Like, it's too much time for too little reward. I'd mention the TA crowd would do it. The problem with Olga 3, like, with this one, chat, Olga 2 is very difficult to get to. Very difficult. I'm not going to say it can't be done. I'm going to say this would really start, like, fucking with, like, free-to-play comps and stuff. And like I said, everybody that I remember when I was doing this, where they were, like, bragging about it, they're like, oh, so-and-so cleared it with, like, less than you cleared it with. I'm like, yeah, what did they do? And it's like, oh, they did the 1-star. And I'm like, we're not having the same conversation then, right? Like, sitting there and saying somebody did something on the easiest difficulty compared to me going like, hey, I don't want to try the hardest difficulty is a completely different story. Like, and I think that's probably my issue with the Earth Olga fight. It really just is, like, kind of stupid with its scaling. And I don't think they got it right. Like, I think what I'm seeing is with some of the extremities, they're looking at, like, some of the insane capabilities that, like, a Leviathan that knows the game can pull off. They see that, and they're like, oh, we got to set the amounts at this. And it's like, no, you don't. I can't stress that enough. Chat, you cannot balance the game around NP5. You can't. You can't. You balance this game around NP5, this game's dead. Here's why. 1, obviously the vast majority of players are not going to have that. 2, that has not been how the game has been balanced for years. And 3, you run into this barrier issue of every single time you try to balance something around that, Anybody that doesn't have that can't do it. And that becomes a like wedge between you and that person. As a developer and your player, there is now a wedge in between you where the player hates what you did. Meanwhile, you were just trying to please the whaliest of the whale, and the whaliest of the whale, honestly, one, didn't care, or two, got upset that something was daring to challenge their NP5s. That's the issue I've noticed, is like a lot of people that roll NP5s do so both for the bragging rights of it and to just like make the game easier on themselves. So I feel like if you start tuning things to NP5, you just piss that crowd off. They go like, what the fuck? I can't get ahead, right? Like, and I'm not somebody that thinks that way, but I can at least approach this from the standpoint of, hey, if it's giving my NP5 120 some trouble, I start having to sit there and go like, hold on, something's not right with this. It's not that I'll be like upset on my own behalf. Instead, I will be upset on behalf of the other people that I know won't be able to do it. So that's kind of why they just can't balance the game to that extent. The game has always been balanced around like NP2, I would say. There have been points in the game where it was actually balanced around NP1. I think this is actually when the game was at its most fair. Because then people that had MP2, MP3, they cleared it a lot easier. If you had MP4, MP5, you didn't care. It wasn't adding that much damage anyways, and you were just shitting on stuff regardless. So to me, this is when the game was at its best. It was the most fair to free-to-plays. It literally had, like, content wasn't hard gated by wealth and veterancy. It was instead gated by game knowledge more than anything. And that, I think, is just the best right there. Is like that encourages players to like, well, as long as you take the right unit, you're good. And that's one of the ways that they kind of used to do it. It's like NP1 was good if it was the right unit. Otherwise, you needed NP2, NP3. And I think that actually is the best balanced system that they've ever achieved. Was like that right there. That is the sweet spot to making players, one, want to roll different units, and two, making them feel valued. I think part of the issue with this, though, is that you have like super units where like NP3 of one unit does less damage than NP1 of another. And like that doesn't help things balance wise. So Oberon release time. Yeah. And like it's really funny because when Oberon comes into the game, every single NP1 is now viable. And then they go like, oh fuck, we fucked up. And then they go like, all right, it's time to start jacking up the NP levels and adding star, star, and star, star, star. And yeah, it's like, no, that didn't help. God, that did not help. Imagine if the finale is locked behind finishing these. They would have probably the lowest clear rate of a finale ever. If it actually were. Like, look, you don't have to worry about that. And the reason why I say that, I give it to you this way. Let's assume the devs are the most drool on their shirt, like just absolutely smooth-brained, like people imaginable, okay? Assume the worst. Assume the dumbest dev you can possibly imagine. That dumb dev sits there and goes, why isn't anybody doing the finale? And then that dumb dev goes, fuck, they're not doing the Olga fights. And then that dumb dev basically goes, all right, it's time to nerf the Olga fight. So the worst case scenario is the dev reactionarily realizes that. The best case scenario is they just never lock anything like that behind it in the first place. The mid case scenario is they lock it behind it, but then they realize that's going to be a problem and they preemptively nerf the fight. But I can tell you, like, that's why it'll just not be a thing. It's because no matter what the outcome there, either it's not required or the Olga fight gets nerfed. They'll make it so you can revive. Yeah, they would do all sorts of stuff. With a new currency. Oh my god. You do need Castoria Oberon and Coin of Light. Yeah, and so it's like stuff like that will be a little bit harder. I still think that's not an unreasonable requirement, but I think like when you start looking at like, hey, it requires this, this, and this, it's like, yeah, it's going to be some issues. There's also going to be like just elements of RNG, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because like it clearing something like this will boil down to the vast majority of people have to use a guide, and not like chat, just so that we're clear, right? Not like me, who looked at this that had a write-up of all of these, right? I'm talking, it would have to literally tell you line for line, like, here's what your first comp is, here's what your second comp is, here's the order in which you use all of your stuff, all of that. That is the level of, like, hand-holding they would need to get the average player through some of this. And it would still be predicated on them actually having some of the stuff, so... The golden tetrahedron gained 20 turns of time. Yeah. I did see a YouTube video for that. Yeah, some people will probably do that. Like, for me, that's something where it's like, that's not really my cup of tea. I don't like to make guide content that deep on a challenge. Doing this blind was kind of funny. Doing it blind would probably take you a long time, because you would have to like just go through and feel out each of the 10 waves. Which is kind of why I don't like that in premise, right? Like, the fact that they, and I mean, again, like, so like the fact that they basically, like, you have this here, right? And so I can come in and I can see what I used. But like, they don't actually tell you what any of the gimmicks are. So, like, you can see what you're going to fight, but you can't see health value, and you can't see mechanic. That's not good, right? Like, that means, like, chat, you could get, like, through this, and then get to this, and then go like, oh, crap, like, that took me longer. And then you could get through this, and then be like, oh, God, that kind of sucked. And you could get through this, and you could get to this, and it would fuck you. Right here, Battle 5, you're fucked if you don't know the mechanic. Why? Because you take sabers to a fight that you're supposed to take archers to. So you just counterclassed yourself because you could not possibly fathom rock, paper, scissors working backwards. So, like, from then on, you can keep going through each one of these, and each time you might hit a potential hard failure and then have to reset, restart, do it all over again. Like, yeah, no, that fucking sucks, dude. I would not want to do that. Yeah. If I did it blind in the first way and made my whole team HP down to 1 HP, I would instantly rage quit. That wouldn't make me instantly rage quit, but I would be terrified that that was the mechanic for the entire fight. Like, that every single time it was going to be like, hey, you're reduced down to 1 HP, you either kill or you're killed. That would be rough. I took Richard Okita and 3 sabers to it. Yeah, and a 3rd saber to it. Sorry. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't feel like these are tuned appropriately. I think they're trying to cater a little bit too much to the challenge crowd. And while I'm not going to say like you can't have challenges in the game and having challenges is a good thing for the game overall, I think this is the equivalent of if you sit there and you try to do let me use Final Fantasy as an example, as something that I know. So FFXIV, aka Final Fantasy 14, has rating. In rating, you have savage content. And then every once in a blue moon, they pull out a super savage fight. Super savage fights are a reiteration of a prior fight that they go and say, hey, we want this to be more. And to me, it is just not worth it. Imagine, spending a month to clear an entire raid instance, and instead you're now spending a month to clear one fight. That's kind of the issue at play with some of this stuff. So to me, super savage content is almost never worth the development time that they put on it for content that will be enjoyed by a minuscule portion of the player base. Minuscule. Okay. So I can make that same argument with like Earth Olga. Earth Olga at like tier 3. I shit you not, it probably was done by less than 1% of all players. Like, I'd be willing to bet that that's like your number right there. And so it's like, to me, you know, at least with Earth Olga, they probably just tweaked like health numbers, and it wasn't like they had to like sit there and ramp so much up. Probably attack value as well. But like, I look at that and I go like, okay, was that actually worth? And I don't really think it is. I think designing content for 1% of your game's population is a losing battle. You should probably never design content for anything less than 25% of your game's population. And if you are, you're fucking up, in my opinion, as a developer, because you're kind of misallocating resources. But it depends, right? Like, and at least, like I said, for something like the higher difficulties for Earth Olga, it was probably simple number tweaks. But that's also why they feel so poorly balanced, because they didn't actually invest any time in it and making it properly tuned. I didn't see that getting the reaction they expect. I think it will be everybody gets a free Olga, and then everyone's going to be like, oh my god, that's so amazing. And then they're going to be like, asterisk. Everyone gets a free Olga after they've cleared all 4 Olga fights. And then everyone's going to be like, I could easily see that. At what cost? Yeah. Just for bragging rots and not something that's locked behind anything. No. Hear me out. The reason I say no, you as a developer shouldn't do it. It's just not smart. Why? Like, yeah, you're giving someone bragging rights. That 1% of players would really enjoy it, right? I have some stunning news for you, chat. That 1% of players, the elite of the elite, at least with regards to like raid content and stuff, right? They will just leave. They will literally just go and play another game while they're waiting for you to come up with more raid content. So it literally doesn't matter how difficult you make the content. You can never keep that player there all the time, and you can never keep them satisfied. Ever. The second they're done with one percentile content, they want another. So it's like you can't do anything about it. That's why it's not worth ever doing it. It's basically a no-win situation. But that's unique to raid stuff. I think like in different games there may be some justification for it, but it would really depend. What do they make a Grand Olga fight? I mean, Trubs, from talking with Trubs already said it's like, in theory, there's a 5th piece that we need. So that may be what's given to us at like Annie here. It could also be like it's not given to us till later on down the line if it's not here at Annie. Or it could be we have to do a 5th fight. So it is what it is, chat. I think more reruns is better than Super Recos. I agree for so many reasons. One, no one really actually gave 2 shits about the Super Recos. Like even I still remember back when I was doing Super Recos, chat. And this was on JP, okay? So when my JP was doing the Super Recos, I remember because I couldn't 3-turn them and I had to actually like stall some of them out and take it slow. The fights took so long that stream numbers dipped. People started to leave stream. Why? Because when you're on turn 50 of a fight and you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again, and the end is not in sight. In fact, people could just see the health bar. Like here's the health bar, and it's like, oh, you're on turn 50, and here's the halfway point or something. It's like, yeah, they know they can literally leave, come back in half an hour, and you'll still be doing it. So it's like, to me, even viewers did not care about Super Echoes. Super Echoes were just a big like nothing in that regard. But yeah, I don't know. I think at least with reruns are free resources or free real estate, depending on how you want to look at this, for veteran players. And they are story for new players. Story and welfares and all that, right? So, to me, reruns worked so much better. I mean, like, there's a point where, like, yeah, I didn't want to do I didn't want to do an original run, a rerun, and then a main interlude of every single event in the game. I do agree with that. If they had started down that path, I would have just like molded so fucking hard. Okay? But I think this and this is perfect. And then this should just be something where if you haven't done either of these, you can come and do the main interlude. And it's that simple. Unless you 3-turn it. Yeah. But that's like I said, right? Like, basically at that point, nobody really cared. Because it's like, if you were just a whale and you could 3-turn, it's like, oh, well, how did he manage that? Well, because he's a whale. That's all it is, right? If your best option is a stall comp lasting 100 turns, things are not going well. The issue at play there was the HP values in these Super Recos basically dictated that you either like managed to 3-turn it by overwhelming it with insane NP levels, or you had to adapt a sustain approach, because otherwise you ended up in a scenario where like, oh, the fight fell apart on you like 10, 15 turns in when you couldn't keep people alive. Newer players don't get to experience prior event stories too. It's lame. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw, but they are actually adapting Oku into a manga drawn by Redrop. Which is like, it's kind of pog, but I'm also sitting there and I'm like, why are we having to do this? And a little bit, like, I say this, we're not having to do this, but it's like, because Oku already is main interluded. But like with other events, it's like, yeah, we don't even have a main interlude, let alone a manga for it, right? Speaking of events, when do you think we'll get the collab this year if we're getting any? I don't think you'll get one. And if you do, it'll be late in the year, like November. Maybe October or September. We'll see. Give Redrop another sermon already? Yeah, I like. There's certain stuff like that where I just go like, I don't know why like FGO does not like. I think they should actually do like a popularity poll of the artists. Dead serious. I think they should do like they should create a website. They should do a popularity poll. They should do like 5 of their best works and like make you just go down the list and vote on each of them. And then the top artists, like let's say like the top 3 artists, each get to draw a new servant. And they don't have to like make this a regular occurrence. They just need to do it like the one time. But the idea would be like, find out who your community actually really likes. Watch them not translate it into English and publish it overseas. Yeah, I mean, that's just the way it always is, right? So, chat, we have to talk about this. Typemoon put out their, is it monthly, chat? You'd have to remind me, but they put out their newest installment of Typemoon Ace, which is one of their like magazine blurbs that they do every once in a blue moon. Trubs went out. Trubs translated it. I did not get to watch Trubs translate it because I was cooking. I think I was what I was doing at the time. But basically, Twitter has been in an uproar. Trubs came in. He talked to me after the live stream, and he told me some of the stuff that Nasu said, and I was upset. But to understand why I was upset, chat, you need to understand something about this. I am a content creator of this game. Therefore, my content literally lives and dies by this game. Hearing the creator of the game say all things come to an end for like the 50 millionth time as we are so close to 10th Annie is like, it's just malding for me. I literally just hear that and I'm just like, what a fucking idiot. Okay. So there are certain things that I love about Nasu. There are certain things I just don't trust Nasu with at all. Nasu is a troll. Nasu has always been a troll. And it's just the way things are. Okay. But that's why, like, you'll hear someone like me get upset is because I'm tired of hearing Nasu doom. Okay. I just want Nasu to be positive about the game for once and be excited about it. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear that the creator like can't wait to show us something and is enthusiastic for his work. Because to me, I'm going to be honest, what it sounds a little bit like is that Nasu has gotten too big for his britches. I think he knows, and he did comment a little bit that in Typemoon Ace, that like FGO is such a like unique opportunity, and he couldn't have like gotten a better opportunity to bring all of these like characters together in one thing, right? But what I hear when I hear Nasu say something like this is the equivalent of Nasu just assuming that everything he does will succeed. And that sounds wild because I don't think he actually thinks that way, but that's like the tone that he's giving off. Is that like, yeah, I can end it. What do I care? Chat, I can't stress this to you guys enough. FGO is still a record-setting game. FGO is still a game that even to this day rakes in millions of dollars. Imagining that you can capture lightning in a bottle again is peak hubris. Peak. And I'm not saying he's going to, okay? I think like maybe in Nasu's mind, he's saying, you know what? I'm not ever going to do anything like FGO ever again. This was fun, but hey, it is what it is, right? And that's fine. But I think he's assuming that he will just go off and do some other thing at some point. And I'm not going to say he's not going to be successful in doing it. I'm going to say that the success that he would have. Let me put this into perspective for you guys, okay? The success that Nasu would have, for instance, from writing Red Garden, aka the second part of Tsukihime, is a drop in the bucket to literally a new banner coming out in FGO. Any new banner coming out in FGO. That's the like gravity. You are on a completely different seismic scale. And it is what it is. So it's like, I understand and can respect if he wants to go back to that. But naturally, after years of hearing this, hearing it just is upsetting to me. It is what it is. So that's me. We're going to take that. We're going to put that aside. Because, frankly speaking, chat, this is my stream. I am well within my right to talk about my opinions here, but I'm also assuming that you guys are here because you want to hear my opinion to some degree. But beyond that, I'm not really going to go out there in the greater like spaces of communities and social media, and I'm not going to like push my opinion onto other people. I'm not going to say like I'm the right one, everybody else is wrong, yada yada yada. Okay. So how I feel about Nasu as a content creator is what it is. It upsets me. I hate the way he talks about the game sometimes. I wish he didn't. But now we can pick that up. We can set that aside. Because what I find funny is, like, yes, that people keep falling for the bait. Like, you don't hear me screaming about my opinion from the rooftops. You're not going to sit there and watch me go unhinged and, like, just ranting and raving for the next, like, 2 months about this and never let it go and just eat, sleep, and drink this and, like, make a voodoo doll to Nasu and all of that crap, right? But man, some people can't let that go. And I think it's time we had a talk with other Typemoon fans. Because I have to say this. Typemoon fans are legitimately some of the worst people that I have ever met. Legitimately. And I don't say that lightly. I've met some pretty fucked up people in my time. But if you're somebody that can actually continue to spew such filth, such vitriol, such just unwashed, like unregulated, just garbage, and keep pushing that on people over and over and over again, and taking it out on everybody else around them because they didn't get what they want, they can go fuck themselves. And I hope they never get what they want. I hope that, you know, like the day that FGO finally does shut down, they all celebrate and then they never get anything else ever again. And I know that sounds like really bad of me to say that, but I am saying this purely in reaction to how they have acted at every step of every way. I understand being upset. I understand thinking that FGO robbed you somehow. That Nasu, it should have been Tsukihime. It should have been, Normal Fate. It should have been any other thing like Mihoyo or something like that. Fine. But that doesn't condone acting the way some people act. And the thing I'm going to say, and I've seen this point, and I gotta agree, okay? Because people have made this counterpoint now to what happened. And just, I guess, to go all the way back to the very beginning to understand why people are so pissed off, Nasu made some really sketchy comments here in Typemoon Ace. So he basically said that he was 50-50 on whether or not FGO was a good thing. Like in his life's perspective, right? That, like, yes, it's afforded him so many opportunities. Again, like I talked about, like bringing all these characters together. But he also said, like, however, if he hadn't done FGO, he would have worked on other projects. And that, of course, brought out your typical, like, worst of the worst Typemoon fans. And I want to be clear here. Not every Typemoon fan is this way. But I'm sorry, the bunch is rotten thanks to some moldy, sour, nasty apples that are sitting there. They're maggot infested and just straight up rotten to the core. Okay? Like, that's the problem that we have. And I'm sorry, I wish the Typemoon community, as hard as it wants to gatekeep people for getting lore wrong, I wish they would gatekeep people that don't have any civility in their own community. kick those assholes out. Because those assholes are the unhinged ones. Those assholes are the ones that are giving all of Typemoon, Tsukihime, Mihoyo, Fate, Kanan, anything. You are giving any product that Nasu made a bad name when you act that way. Anybody that's not a fan of the series, that's looking from outside, that sees the filth that they spew, has to think like, damn, at least my IP and my fans aren't that bad. And that's not a good look, okay? So, again, I can't stress this enough. People just got to do better. Just stop. You understand now that Nasu's going to say this stuff. It's not worth reacting like a spoiled, rotten child, okay? Especially because I know some of y'all are the like 40-year-old virgin still living in mommy's basement that all you do is read visual novels all day. There's nothing wrong with that, but maybe that's a point of which it's time to grow up a little. It's time to not be that person, to not be just the extreme like trash of society that you are. Literally, just treat other people the way you want to be treated. As long as you are nice to each other, we won't have any issues. But the second you start coming out and attacking people and assuming that entire communities are this way, you're the problem. Because I'm not going to say it's every Typemoon fan. It's not. There are plenty of nice Typemoon fans. But the worst of the worst that I've met are also Typemoon fans. That's a problem. And the point that I wanted to make earlier that we can now get back to is that even if FGO never existed, you still weren't going to get what you wanted. It still would have taken Nasu decades to get Tsukihime remake done. Still would have taken him decades to get around to doing any of these things. And if anything, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to say part of the reason that any of it is possible is due to FGO and its funding. And that if you didn't have that, you probably wouldn't even have half the projects you have. And then people would get really upset and they would say like, no, Typemoon was profitable. Typemoon did all this stuff. And I'm like, you're right. Typemoon might have been. Typemoon also has had a lot of busts, things that didn't work out well for them. So who knows? Maybe you get that extra record like anime and instead Fate just kind of dies there. Now, some fans would be happy to see Fate die. Like, to some fans, FGO isn't even the problem. It's Fate. Fate is this grand seductress that has just taken Nasu from the rest of Typemoon. But there's a reason that it has, and that's because it's successful and people really like it. And I don't want to like shit on anyone else's love because I at least know a lot about Tsukihime. I know a decent chunk about Mihoyo. I know they are good IPs. But there's a point at which you have to just go ahead and say, of course he went with the more popular thing. Of course he went with the more successful thing. If you are a writer and you write 5 stories and one of them sells billions and the other 2 only sell millions, wouldn't you logically just keep developing the one that sold billions? It's that simple, guys. It really doesn't need to be anything crazy. Now, I'm not going to say that, like, if FGO didn't exist, that you couldn't have gotten some of these other things sooner. You might have. It's just, they probably wouldn't have been nearly as good. And again, yeah, it's entirely possible that instead Nasu goes broke without the existence of this stuff. That maybe he ends up being a has-been and kind of just doesn't have the funding or the capability to actually continue his series. That is the issue that people always seem to overlook. They always just assume that if we didn't have FGO, that everything would be, you know, sunshine and rainbows everywhere, and we would have every single possible iteration that we could of every single possible IP that Nasu has ever come up with. And it's like, no, I'm sorry. You need only look back at 2015 to know that that is not true. How active was Nasu back then? How much was he firing on all cylinders back then? And the answer was he wasn't. Now, some of them will be like, oh, he had already started FGO at the time. Okay, how far back you want to go? We can keep going and going and going. Because Nasu has always had logistical issues. Nasu has always had problems getting his projects out on time and basically like in the way in which he wanted to say to. And to be fair, as someone that's done a little bit of writing myself, I understand that. I understand easily how that sort of thing happens to a writer. And if anything, FGO and its success have beefed up Typemoon, given him more support staff, and as he even mentioned in the interview itself, more connections, more capability to do stuff as a creator. So, yeah, the iterations of things you might get have been delayed, but they are also so much better for it. So to me, stop looking the gift horse in the mouth and instead embrace it. You don't have to like or play FGO, but you do have to tolerate its existence. Because if you don't, other people won't tolerate your existence. And that's exactly what we see on Twitter right now. It's so stupid, and it doesn't need to be this way. But again, all we really need is a little bit of civility in the end. Both sides have legitimate points to make, but neither side is 100% on the right, and neither side deserves to treat the other one like it is trash. So again, just be better to each other. That's really all we can ask. I doubt we would have ever gotten official translated Typemoon without FGO. You would not. I can guarantee you would not. There would not be an English version of anything if not for Lasingle. And the reason why is, again, FGO's success allowed for Aniplex of America to get involved, and the Aniplex of America team is who is doing the vast majority of the, quote, localization / translation. So the only iterations that you would have of any of that stuff would be fan translated. Now, some people prefer the fan translated, and I'm not going to argue that. I'm simply going to state you would not have it officially available over here. And there is something to be said about having an official version, something that is available on Steam, that is accessible to the masses. Now, we can get into this subject, but again, this is where the gatekeeping comes in again. Some people don't want that. They always want their IP to be the cult classic, the secluded, like, unpopular IP that they can, you know, toit around like a badge of honor saying like, yeah, well, I'm a fan of this and no one else is. I hate to break it to you. That's exactly the scenario that I'm talking about. Nasu going broke. Because when all of his stuff is just a cult classic, it doesn't make enough money to actually continue to fund future projects. That is the issue in a nutshell. Could he continue to do this sort of stuff guerrilla style as he did once back in the day? Yeah, absolutely. Would it be like of the quality level that maybe people would want? Absolutely not. And definitely nowadays with the upgrades that we have gotten, and particularly other visual novels have gotten. Vecchio suddenly disappears with no replacement in sight. Typemoon goes poof. No, I don't think Typemoon goes poof. It's just one of those deals where I have to look at it and I have to say, like, yes, I think without FGO, a lot of this stuff is not possible. And now that we've had FGO, if FGO were to end, what would the impact be? It would not be good for Typemoon. You particularly might, like, get some more access to stuff in the short term, but I'm not sure it's successful enough to continue the organization at the level it's currently at. Event in NA that has gatekeeping an actual curse an opponent? Yes. Earthbound is a cult classic, but by itself being that it wouldn't fund future projects, right? They don't want them to be successful. They want a badge for themselves. Starving artist aesthetic is horror. Yes, and that's exactly the point that I'm making. It's some people just want like their own like niche thing, and I'm like, okay, you know what though? If that's what you want, then you shouldn't care about FGO. Because you can keep your little like hidey hole cult classic because it's distracting Nasu from ever doing anything more with your IP. But see, therein lies the problem. You want Nasu to do more, you crave it, but you don't want him to actually sit there and develop the IP and bring in new people. You can't have both. If you want more, the creator's going to try to make it successful. And if the creator does make it successful, you're going to get more. It's an inevitability. It's trying to have your cake and eat it too. And it's like, you just can't have that. You can't have a creator that constantly pumps out content that gets nothing out of it. It doesn't work for anyone involved. People act like before FGO, Typemoon was popping out projects left and right. Right. And that's my point. It's like, even pre-FGO, it's not. And yeah, I think like to a degree, you can still enjoy FGO stories from afar without ever having to play the game. Which is why I think probably the reason that I get upset about this particular issue is because people are just so anti-FGO. I understand if you don't want to play. That's fine. But there are people that are literally just wishing death upon anybody that plays the game. People that like saying like, oh, we should go hang ourselves and all that stuff. And it's like, no, dude, like, holy crap. Like, do you not realize what you're saying? Because this doesn't make any of us look bad. It makes you look bad. This just dehumanizes yourself. And it's so sad to see people that are like that unstably invested is the best way I can say it. Whoever's saying that is a nut job. It's somebody that actually needs to go out and touch grass. It's, you know, as somebody that plays FGO all the time, and it's like, yeah, God, it feels like I eat, sleep, and drink it sometimes, right? Chat, these people would put me to shame. I don't eat, sleep, and drink it to the extent that I don't bathe, that I don't go outside, that I don't see the light of day ever, right? Like, that's where I have to go like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. Like, this is maybe a reality check moment for those people. It's time to actually like interact with another human on a level where you just, again, you're not going to get your way, but it is what it is. You're just going to have to learn to accept that. But most of them hate FGO because they failed in gacha. No, I don't think it's that. Like I said, I think FGO is an extension of this, and I think even depending on the Typemoon fan that you talk to, they would say that they just hate all of Fate. It like FGO is just the latest incarnation, and I'm not gonna lie, okay, chat. So let's say FGO ends, and then Nasu does something else with Fate. They would molt. It's that simple. It's like, no matter what, it is literally just something that lives in the zeitgeist for them. They cannot handle anything that's Fate related at this point. Or if Nasu starts something new too, yeah. I'd say give the developers time to develop their content so that the finished project doesn't stink. Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. And to me, it's where like I can say it's like, yeah, surely FGO pushed some of this stuff back. I think getting it pushed back. Look, chat. I'm going to use game philosophy for you guys here. A rushed game will always be bad. A delayed game might eventually be good. So the same logic could work with a visual novel or anything like that. If you want it now, it might suck. Versus if you let them cook, if you give them the time that they need, regardless of how long it is, it might be a gem. It might be a diamond in the rough for you. And I think that is worth the wait, no matter how long that wait is. I understand some people are in more of a hurry than others, but like, just is what it is to me. I think, especially with something that's creative, you can't rush it. It's an art form. It is not a science. It is not a business. And when you try to treat it like a science or a business, when you get shitty art. Let it king. Try waiting for a VN for 6 to 80 years like other people do. Thankfully, Angel Beats fans treated HBR right. Yeah, I mean, like, I still want to, like, throw them a bone here, okay? Like, I understand why Typemoon fans are angry. I understand wanting more for their other IPs and feeling jilted because all Nasu pays attention to is fate. I get that. And I don't think those feelings are wrong. I think when you magnify them and you start going after your fellow Typemoon fans about it, that's the problem. That's where you have to just say, like, no, you're the problem, not like Nasu or the IP or anything like that. So it's like, when people can't, again, just be civil, they can't treat each other with respect and nicely, it's like, yeah, this is how you end up in these situations. Tsugimi fans don't like Fate, but Arc turned out so good, and I'm excited for Seal. Yep. But that's been a thing. That's nothing new. God, I wish Nasu would just put Tsukihime on Steam. Yeah, there's a lot of people that want that. And I'm gonna say this, would it help Tsukihime? Yeah, to a degree. Like, it would definitely expose some more people to Tsukihime. Would it make Tsukihime bigger than Fate? No. No, it never will be, and that's the problem, I think. Some people really, really don't like hearing that, but that is the truth. Fate will always be the bigger IP just simply due to the concepts at play in it. It is a much grander IP in terms of the subject and content matter that it broaches, and its actual world design is designed to be able to handle a lot more expansion. And that's probably to a degree why Nasu created it in the first place. I think he probably realized that there was not only room for something like this, but also just in general, I think he basically understood that naturally the other products that he had were very character driven specifically, versus with something like the Fate IP, he could slot in any character he wanted and tell a story. Just the concept of servants makes Fate an evergreen. Correct. Yep. Because we should be happy the creator has a way to make comfy life right now. Yeah. I think, and that's where, like I said earlier, it's like, I understand Nasu, and while I disagree with some of his comments and I don't like that he says certain stuff, I just kind of mostly keep it to myself. I don't really go on rants like this too often in that regard. I usually just let my issues with Nasu and how he acts, and even to a degree, like some of his storytelling and the choices he makes with some of that, I keep that to myself. Because I know, one, it wouldn't be popular, and two, I don't think people care to hear some of it. So at the end of the day, I just say, like, yeah, those are my opinions, and they are what they are. But if I know it's going to be upsetting to other people, I'm just not going to bother to say them. So But yeah, I think this stuff, it's so sad because I feel like this is a time when, if anything, like at least the Fate side of the community should all be coming together. But I've seen people now here in the past couple days say crap like, "Oh, like the summer banners didn't treat me well. I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna go over to Honkai Star Rail. That treated me better." I've seen people be like, "Oh, if 10th Annie doesn't do X or Y, I'm gonna quit." I've seen people be like, "Oh, FGO's ending. I'm gonna quit." And I'm just like, guys, it's 10th Annie. How many games have you played that have made it to a 10th anniversary? And one that you were around to like celebrate and play for? It's not very many. I mean, certainly games that are older, like, oh yeah, they had their 10th anniversary. It's like, yeah, I'm talking a live service game that's been going this entire time, had a robust community this entire time. That is not a small accomplishment. That is a titanic feat, and something that really just is a testament to the game's developers, and as well as like Typemoon and all the like creative staff behind them. So Grimblue Fantasy is like a cockroach, it never dies. I mean, there's sunk cost fallacy. Some people will probably never quit games like that they've spent a ton on. So yeah, I mean, I like I said, I don't like it, but that's because I don't like the tone of it. That being said, I think Nasu, as we mentioned before, Nasu just likes to troll. It's how he always has been. Um, we always talk about how Nasu lies, right? Well, yeah, that's part of the reason, right? Now, is Nasu lying when he says some of this stuff? No, I think he's actually speaking from the heart, but he's just trying to be earnest with people and say his actual like surface level emotions. But it doesn't mean that like he's gonna like give up on Fate or FGO even for that matter either. It's just him saying like, I guess there's a part of Nasu that wonders what could have been, if that makes any sense. Like, I think he feels the pain of the fans, and he understands that people want him to do other stuff, and so there's a part of him that also thinks, hey, what if I had done other stuff? And so like that's the like, I guess, inside part of him that manages to get out, is like the part that he probably shouldn't say to other people. But it's like, it's letting you know that like he's not 100% sure on everything, and that he also like has doubts and things like that. I guess it's humanizing in that regard, right? But at the same time, I look at that and I go like, yeah, but there's certain things, like, again, it's like, it's just not good to say them, right? You're going to upset people. So to me, I won't say them. Meanwhile, Nasu not only will say them, Nasu will troll you with them. And in that regard, I do think Nasu is a little bit of an asshat. I think like part of him is just it's kind of like that crotchety old man meme where it's like he just literally lives just to salt other people. And I think like to a degree, when you're an old like father, when you've got like them dad jokes flowing and stuff, it's like, like where a lot of like dad jokes and stuff come from are sarcasm and anxiety and things that like a parent can't deal with, an adult can't deal with, they just have to accept. So instead they make jokes about it and they troll people. And that's just, I see it's like it's the same thing that Nasu's doing there. He's like, well, yeah, I have to accept it, so you're gonna suffer too. I don't like that he does it, but he does it, and we all know he does it. And that's why I'm surprised that people still to this day tilt so hard off of it, right? Like, if you're a true Typemoon fan, what are you doing? You're acting like it's your first time. This is not your first time. You've seen Nasu say shit like this 20 times before now. And very frequently, also, Nasu does not do what he says he's going to do, which is very funny in that regard. Someone should tell Nasu you don't tell your wife your thoughts about the girl who got away. Yeah. poor bedside manner, right? And to a degree, it's true, right? Like it's serving to do is it's serving to whip the Typemoon fans up into a frenzy and piss them off. And frankly, we battle the Typemoon fans enough as is. We don't need to battle them more. I don't like that he made those comments. They act like they want DC or Marvel shut their comic off and start a new thing. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like they're not going to get that with FGO. I think the thing that worries me, and I look, I'll be transparent with you guys for a second here, is that like what worries me is that at some point Nasu does say, all right, we have ended the story for FGO. And there is a part 3, but part 3 does not involve story. What worries me with that is I think if that is true, that FGO is its days are numbered at that point. I think what really does keep FGO going is the continued evolution of the IP. It is the story and how it is being driven forward. I think if you don't have that, FGO really begins to struggle. Because I think it's already having its issues just with the sheer amount of time that we go between having story. So I think if you go longer than that, or you just realize it's not a thing at all in the future, that's rough. Now, what I would hope would happen, and that Nasu would have learned over the years, but I'm going to be honest with you, he probably still hasn't, is I hope that Nasu has learned to delegate, that he would have at least like, hey, now the writers are sufficiently trained, they can write their own stuff to a degree, and I only need to come in and maybe like write some certain key moments or spot check them. And in that regard, he can maybe come up with an overarching story concept and just kind of let them do the rest of the work. But unfortunately, I think if anything we've learned over the past 10 years of FGO is that Nasu does not delegate well at all. That is like his number one problem. And that's why, like, again, you guys were talking about getting, English Fate products and stuff, and like things actually brought over to Steam and like translated and localized. Yeah, the whole reason all of that took so long is because Nasu didn't want to let anyone else do it. So that's case in point that Nasu has always had this issue. He has always struggled to delegate and find people to do work for him. And I understand that on a spiritual level as a streamer. There are certain things where I would love to delegate. I would love to give them to other people. But unfortunately, I've learned over the years, like, people just won't do it. They'll let you down. You will have to do it all yourself. And so you get used to the idea of if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. And that does not make delegating easy. To me, though, that's also a sign that you just have to find the right people. So I think that's what maybe Nasu is also alleging there in Typemoon Ace. He's trying to say, like, you know what? You're right. Like, hey, I can do this if I can find the right people, if I can get the right connections. And I think over time he has gotten some. So my hope is that he continues to get more. My hope is that there is something better and brighter around the corner, something that we can all get excited about, something that we can all go all in on again, rather than doom and gloom like how Typemoon Ace wants us to think at this point. Isn't this the third time he's gone? Okay, I'm setting FGO down, y'all writers take it on. Oh, at least, yeah. Like, Nasu has done that numerous times over the years. And that's why, like, I think he does struggle, because I think it's like every time he steps away, here's what I think happens, right? Like, here is FGO. Here is Nasu. And I think every time Nasu steps away and he starts looking at, like, let's say, like, Tsukihime, Mahoyo, like anything else he wants to do, right? Like, he's trying to get over here, but I think he can't stop himself from, like, turning around, and he keeps looking back at FGO. He keeps thinking about it, because as much as I think he wants to do right by this stuff, I think he knows this is A, where his bread is buttered, B, his most popular IP, and C, I think he knows this is legacy. I think he knows that everything Fate is how he's going to be judged, more so than the cult classic things like Tsukihime and Mihoyo. I think he knows that long term, how this is perceived matters so much more. And I think that's why, like, he gets caught looking every time. And he goes like, yeah, hey, like, I want to take time to do this other stuff, but like, shit, that Karen part's coming up, or like, oh man, I really got to write that next thing for MASH. Like, I think that just lives in the back of his mind, and it wins because of all those factors. And there could also be a personal factor. He might just like Fate more. I don't know. I'm not going to like try to make that allegation and assume that he does, right? It's just, that is a possibility. It's like he might actually just favor one over the other. Man needs some sous chefs that he can trust. He has them. He actually has some really good writers under him, like Narita and stuff. So it's like, I don't know why, to a degree, he doesn't try to like find more. Because there's definitely a lot of really talented writers out there, but Fate just has such a strong global foothold. Yeah, I think it could be better. I think Fate's global foothold has been waning. Mostly due to the lack of a popular anime series in a while. And like, I'm not gonna say like Babylonia wasn't good for Fate. It was. I think just like Babylonia struggled to some degree due to its connection with FGO in a way that something like Strange Fake will not. So I think if Strange Fake actually can get a normal release and come out, and we'll see. A lot of people are thinking we're going to get Strange Fake news here at 10th Annie. So, I mean, I feel like I say that every time, but like this time it actually seems like there might be some smoke to the fire. So we're hoping we actually get some actual news, and then, you know, maybe that series can actually launch, and it'll be good. It'll be good for Fate. Like, I for one look forward to watching Strange Fake, let alone just the rising tide that it will bring with it. That it will bring renewed interest from new generations of fans into FGO and Fate in general. Extra remake taking forever isn't helping. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say this. I don't care how long they take on Extra Remake. For the exact same reason of the comment I made earlier about like a rushed game is never good, right? They can take all the time that they need because Fate desperately needs a win in the game department. Like, it needs to show that that FGO is not its only major commercial success. It needs to actually like do other things that can be successful. And I think like Extra Remake at least has some capability for that, but they got to like nail the gameplay on it. Making an anime takes a long time if you want to do a good job. I am A-okay with that. My issue is how they have presented Strange Fake. If they told me from the get-go that it would take until 2027 for Strange Fake, I would have been like, damn, that sucks, but nice. I would have been like, okay, sweet. In 2027, we're going to get the best damn anime for Strange Fake ever. Instead of, hey, it's coming out in 2023. I mean 2024. I mean 2025. That's what I don't like about the Strange Fake handling. I don't see Studio BB producing another game despite their claims. Extra shows they struggled hard. There's two schools of thought on this. One is that, yes, like, Extra is just, like, way too much for them to handle, and they're too small of a studio. The other is that it's entirely possible that Studio BB, being made up of mostly Typemoon people, just literally got poached for one of the other projects. That could be an FGO Part 3. That could be, one of the visual novel remakes. You name it. Couldn't tell you. Could be FGO itself. What's with the Typemoon drama? TLDR, Nasu said some dumb thing, stuck his foot in his mouth, and it has Typemoon fans at each other's throats. Continually delaying, so we've gone from 2023 to 2027 now is not forgivable. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they said 2027. That's just a number I'm throwing out, right? What do you think they will have for the 10th Annie? I hope other than Fate Strange Fake, if they announce more anime, that'd be great. I would love to hear of another anime project. I think that would be great. I think, again, like the Fate IP is very popular in Japan. I want to see the Fate IP grow outside of Japan because I think it can. And I think it does have some popularity. It's just not really tapping into it. So I would love if they do something like that. I think people have asked me that like what do I think they'll do for 10th Annie? I think 10th Annie, you have a couple of obvious things. You're going to probably get free Olga. You're going to probably get strange fake news. You are probably going to end up getting 1,000 Saint Courts for 10 years. You're probably going to get your normal GSSR cocktail, including whatchamacallit chat, Destiny Order. They'll say GSSR/D or DO. You're going to get the Famitsu interview. I've already talked with Trubs about that. I think we know the date it comes out. That will be... And chat, hear me out. I think that'll either be Nasu doubling down. It's going to really piss people off. Or that will be... Finally, Nasu will begin to open up and talk a little bit about a future for the game. Because I think that's going to be questions that the interviewers ask regardless. Okay. I think you're going to end up seeing obviously a new unit. And I'm not talking Olga, right? Like I'm talking like our new anniversary unit, of which currently I'm predicting that to be Solomon or some iteration of Solomon. Just got to think about what other predictions would be. I mean, you're obviously going to get strengthenings and stuff, so I'm not going to go too deep into something like that. They may start prepping us for a new system. What I mean when I say this is something with regards to like, the next thing, like after like class score and grands and stuff like that, because the grand system logically lasts us until the end of the year. After that, I mean, obviously they can give us more stuff to do with grands, but grand system is largely relegated to 9 different units. There's not a whole lot you can do account-wise with that. So I suspect there's going to be a new system. You know what? I'm going to make a bold prediction right here, chat. You might see your first ultra rare in the game. And that might be Olga. And there might be a system in place that allows us to upgrade units to ultra rare. I don't think it'd be rolling for a 6-star, but I could see something like that. No, not gotcha. I think they know that that would be deeply, deeply problematic. The level 150? Yeah. I can see something like that. But that might be not until part 3, right? But that's why I'm saying, like, I could see, like these two could be the same thing. They could be completely different. We may not ever see anything like this. I think this one's like my boldest prediction out of all of them. I think you get some new costumes. I mean, maybe new low stars. I don't know. Low stars is like really just depends on what they're trying to do. I think there will be new quality of life. And yeah, I'll go out on a limb. I'll make another prediction. I'll say there will also be some sort of new Fate project. Like, and I'm not talking like the Hollow Ataraxia remake. We already know that's a thing. So I think there will be like some sort of new Fate project announced. Now that could be an anime. That could be anything. Strength Eating Quest is kind of a given. That's why like most of this is not like guaranteed. I guess like the GSSR is like, yeah, we already know we're gonna get that, right? But they might do something different with the GSSR this year though. We might see that upgraded in some way because it's 10th Annie. Ooh. What if the GSSR only cost 10 quartz, chat? Not a big deal for a lot of people, but what if they did it where it's like for 10th Annie, GSSR only costs 10 paid quartz instead of 15? Triple GSSR? Maybe. 100 new costumes for those illustrations? Are you trying to kill the animation staff? I would love that. Like to me, one of the big things I want to hear is that they've hired like more animators and stuff for the game. I think that would really help things. As a free quartz GSSR, though it's a full 30 quartz. I mean, they might. I'm not going to put something like that past them. Other than like, you guys got to understand, most of what they're going to do here is like a means of like getting money, right? And I think with something like a free Olga and 1,000 Saint Quartz given out, that's already super generous. Like, chat, we could cross out everything else on this list, and we could say 1,000 Saint Quartz and a free Olga, plus a new anniversary unit, is like that's all anyone cares about. So it is what it is. True, sadly, yeah. But yeah, I mean, some of this is probably copium. Is what it is. It like, and this is why I'm gonna say this is just my predictions, chat. Don't assume any of this is gonna happen. I think like some of this, like I have logic for why I could see this being a thing, but devs don't always act logically. And the big thing I want to tell you guys is don't get upset over whatever the quartz amount is. Just don't. Don't. I feel like it happens every year. And let's say they do give out 1,000 Saint Quartz. That would be more technically than any other year. If they did, chat, Don't get upset the next year when it's not 1,000 Saint Courts again. Don't judge every single year by whatever the peak was. All right, we're holding you personally accountable for these statements. Damn. To save for my collection? Yeah. People complain about how much is given. Yeah, I mean, chat, they could give us everything on this list. They could, like, make servant coins farmable. They could literally announce that, like, the gacha was going to, like, 2 quartz per spin instead of 3. They could fix the pity system. People would still complain. People would still complain. Or it would flip to FGO is dying. Said increasingly unhinged person for the millionth time. If Cat is wrong, I will riot on Twitter. I mean, Twitter can watch right now, so. When is 1080 stream? I believe it starts next Saturday. I believe the big one is on Sunday. I think. FGO is constantly dying even when it hits number 1. Yep. FGO number 1 on sales, dead game. Dead game, chat. What's your source? My source is I made it the fuck up. No. FGO is dying. What's your source? My source is I don't play FGO anymore. That's what it always is. My bet is on a new Arturia face or a new summonable servant class. You heard it from Skylar, folks. Now, if we get another saber face, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. I did not manifest this publicly. Paid chatter. I'll gladly take the blame. Thank you. It's not my fault. It's totally his fault. Yes. All saber faces are my fault. No. You know what? Good. Then more saber faces. Here, okay, an even bolder prediction, chat. For this anniversary, you will get not 1, not 2, not 3. That's right, 30 new saber faces. Okay? We gotta double the numbers. Only because people complained that there were too many. And for every time someone complains, this number goes up. CAD will go bankrupt. CAD would go bankrupt. That's not a good scenario for me. Chad, I might start having to panhandle for donations at that point. Please, chat. Help a brother out. New Arturia serving class, not everyone can be Arturia. Okay, admittedly, I would find it really funny if there was like a Saberface support that gave other units the Saberface buff. That would at least like make me chuckle. Doubly so if it only worked on like Takeuchi drawn servants. When everyone is named Arturia, no one is correct. Ah, see, there you go. You used the cursed word. There's Avalon. Now I can end the stream chat. Okay. Chat, let me see who else is on tonight. I see a Mr. Fox for us. Let's go give him some love. He's doing some FGO. I think he's finishing the event story, which is hilarious because that never ends. And I will be back tomorrow. The pulled pork, by the way, that I made was really good. If you haven't seen it, get on the Discord. It's under the CAD chat section. I made slow cooker pulled pork, and then I made barbecue pork sandwiches out of it with my vinegar-based sauce. It was amazing. So, as always, check me out on YouTube. We got another video out for you guys today for the new player account. Should have more stuff for you guys coming down the pipeline. And again, don't forget, join our Discord. Always happy to have you. We've got over 3,000 members there. So get in and be seen or else. And I will see you guys for the next one. Go give Fox my love. Good night.